What is going on? Live stream, eSIM Studios, maybe the latest live stream I think I've ever done. Oh man, it's been a crazy day, even crazier than yesterday. And I said Mondays are usually my busiest day. So if everything, well, I'm not gonna go that far. I was gonna say if everything could have gone wrong, it did. Well, could have been worse. Could have had a worse day. So always look at the glass is half full, right? Lord have mercy. So it's been so crazy. I'm gonna have to I wanted to start this live because I wanted to get going, and now I gotta run to the front door real quick. So if you want to give me just a second, I'm gonna basically put it on a little timeout. We'll get into some news. I'm not gonna rush stuff too much, but I got dinner delivery at the front door right now. Forgot I ordered. Guess I could have waited to start the live until that came, but let me go get it. They're here, and I'm gonna throw it in the kitchen, in the fridge. Everybody else is sleeping. Everybody in the home has headaches. I have a headache. My daughter has a headache. My wife has a headache. They're sleeping, and I'm like, I can't sleep. So, long story. I'll get to it in the news. Give me just a second. They're pulling up right now. Give me just a second. What's going on, brother? Yo, what is going on? I can't let them ring the doorbell. Hang on. Everybody's sleeping. Let me put Oh my God. How? Oh man. What a day. Told y'all it was a crazy day. Like, I don't like to talk down on people. That's got to be the dumbest delivery driver I think I've ever come across in my life. Holy crap. Alrighty, let me take a deep breath here. Damn, I don't even have water. Son of a bitch. Well, that sucks. Alright, so without further ado, deep breath. Okay. What's going on, man? How are y'all doing tonight? Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen you. So, let's see here. You opted out of the beta program on the 10 Pro, so I just ignored the data wipe update and wait until the stable version comes out, so I don't need to wipe. Yeah. If you can, yeah, that's what I used to do. And then I think, from what I remember, maybe you could help me, because on my Pixel 9 Pro XL, I exited the beta and haven't been in there since because I had such a bad experience on my Pixel 9 Pro XL. I can't remember if they annoy you with it, with that update, or if you can just push it to the side and kind of shoo it away. You know what I'm saying? Like, there used to be a setting, maybe it's in developer options, or maybe they took it away, because I remember at one point you could do that. Maybe you still can. Shit, I don't know. Where you can kind of say, remind me later, and then it just, doesn't bother you. But then I do remember, and now I'm wondering, was it on the Pixel? But I don't remember any other beta programs I've been in besides Samsung, where I remember one time it was bugging the hell out of me. It would remind me like every other, I don't know, week or so, or day. Ignore it. Yeah, well, you're in the beta, or yeah. I after I had such a bad experience, I got out of that. So maybe they changed stuff. I have no clue. But actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because that rolls us into our first topic. So we got the Pixel May update today, and apparently we got a big surprise. Well, I'm not gonna say big surprise, but we got a surprise with that too. Something we don't normally see with Pixel. Now, it's kind of, I'm not gonna say clickbait, but it's kind of when you first hear the headline or my statement, you'll be like, holy shit. But then you're gonna be like, oh, well, it's not that bad. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. Let me pull up my browser. Let's see. Let me turn the music down too. It's kind of loud now. Sorry, I've been all over the place. Let's see. There we go. I don't want to be too annoying. All right, so let me pull up my screen here. I'll have to edit out that part. So this is what I'm talking about right here. Is that better? This is what I'm talking about right here. So, no, not this. Where's my bottom slider? Yo, I hate 9 to 5 Google. Why do they do this? They make their website so hard to navigate. Because you have to select, what if you just want everything all together? Like you want all the news all in one section. You don't want to go, oh man. Now they give me even bigger selection. All right, so where is it? So this is the headline that I was talking about, right? It says Pixel 10's May 2026 update prevents you from installing older Android versions, or it prevents you from rolling back the software. So what if you did get in a bind? What if you did break your phone? Uh-oh. I can't go back. What the hell? Well, we'll get into that in a second because it's got a little stipulation to it that is not that big of a deal. But I want to go through the May security patch for the Google Pixel devices. I know we spent the entire show yesterday talking about Pixel, and for good reason, right? It was a huge leak, and now we know basically what the phone's going to look like, right? So, or not look like, well, come with inside is what I meant, the specs. So the May security patch for the Google Pixel series came out for all Pixel devices all the way down to the 7A. So if you have a 7A, may want to start thinking about end of life supports here coming up pretty soon, but you know, you still got a little while longer. But let's look at the change log, shall we? Before we get into this bootloader, to this rollback thing. This they prevent us from doing the rollback. So, what is in this update? Are there any bugs squashed? Are there any big fixes for the Pixels? I don't know. I just heard there was an update today, and I thought, let me look in and see what's coming out in this update. And I was like, well, you know what? Why don't I just go live and we'll look at it all together? Because this is the stuff that I do in my off time. So I thought, what the hell? Let's just go check it out all together. So here's the May 2026 update that includes bug fixes and improvements for Pixel users. Now, I want y'all to... I got Pixels in the household, but I think my daughter's using hers, but I'm not using mine, and my wife's definitely not using hers. And I could always ask my daughter, hey, did you update your phone yesterday? Well, how's your battery life? She was like, I don't know. Teenagers, right? So I'm going to need to lean on y'all. Those of y'all that do have Pixels, I want you to, when it's available, download this update, and when you do get it loaded up and you got a day or two on it, let me know how the battery life is. Apparently there is a fix for slow wireless charging and a fix potentially for the April update that was killing everybody's battery. It seemed like Samsung was hit with a battery bug with the April patch, and Google was as well. So Samsung did push out a second April update for their devices. I got one for my S26 Ultra, and then I got one for my S25 Plus. I got so many devices and get so many updates I can't remember sometimes, but I know I got two on these Samsung phones, and I think I had somebody comment today and ask, hey, has the second update helped your battery life? And I was like, you know what? I look at my battery life. I charged it to 100% last night, unplugged it. And not my S26 Ultra. I'm talking about the S25 Plus that I have that I got real cheap. It would die pretty quick. And I know it was affected by this battery bug in the April security patch. It's similar to what was affecting the Pixel devices. So I'm kind of tying it into that, right? So it looks like we're getting a fix with not just Samsung, but with Pixel. But long story short, I unplugged my phone at 100% last night before I went to bed. This is the S25 Plus that I don't really use, you know, just to play around with. It's not a heavy use device, so it really doesn't get used that much, but it would die every day. I would have to plug it in, even if I only used it for an hour or 10 hours. It would just die. So I unplugged it last night. And right before I used it right now, which has almost been, 20 hours since the last time I had plugged it in or picked it up, it's at 94%. So it's only lost 6% of battery life in 20 hours. It's pretty good. So I think it fixed it, because previous to today, I know it would have been dead before I picked it up. So I picked it up and I was like, damn, this thing's still on. And I looked at the battery life and I was like, holy crap. So I think it's working, whatever they did to the Samsung phones. And again, it's the same similar fix to what's in these Pixel devices as well. It's just something in that April patch that jacked these phones up with the battery. Not to mention, there's also a fix for an issue with a camera app could freeze while recording video or adjusting zoom level. Displaying graphics, a fix for an issue that caused persistent flickering, white dot, or visual noise appear at the top of the display in certain conditions. And a fix for an issue that could intermittently cause screen to appear fuzzy, frozen display noise. Display noise lines. Display noise lines. It's a weird set of combination of words. Framework. Fix an issue where the keyboard or input screen could appear frozen or incorrectly positioned in some apps under certain conditions. Okay. So it seems like, look, it wasn't a huge update. Obviously, they do fix stuff, vulnerabilities behind the scenes or stuff in the kernel. You'll see, a lot of times you'll just see bug fixes and improvements, right? And you're like, more bug fixes and improvements, but they are patching stuff, filling these vulnerabilities behind the scenes. But battery and charging, I think, is the main focus on this month. So again, from my experience, at least from a couple of my devices, I think I got better battery life today, and I've been on this update for a day or two. So if you have a Pixel, if you have a Samsung, check for updates. If you have not gotten it yet, don't worry. They have like a staggered rollout, staggered release. Just check it every day. Or what I typically do is check it in the morning when I get up, and then sometime during the afternoon or at night, a couple times a day, just check it real quick. And it'll be there. If you don't have it now, you'll probably get it the next day or two. So always want to double check on that. Now, as I mentioned, filling those vulnerabilities, behind the scenes type stuff. So let me go back and show you what the big little surprise was. So the May 2026 update for Pixel, don't worry about the Samsung, this is Pixel specific, contains a bootloader tweak, a bootloader update that prevents you from rolling back the software, meaning you can't install a prior version of Android from what it's already on. And at first thought, you're like, what the wait a sec, because you don't typically see that a lot. So you're like, whoa, hold up. Now I don't do as much flashing as I used to in the past, but I may do a couple flashes, and I'm talking about the Android flash tool. I'm not talking about flashing a custom ROM. I'm talking about where I want to start fresh on a device, or I buy a device from somebody but I need to flash it myself, manually flash it, stuff like that comes up every now and then. So when I see something like that, I always dig through the details, because it might affect me, right? So let me pull up this and show you what I'm talking about. Now, I don't want you to freak out if you do roll back your devices, or you jump from beta to stable or back to beta, because here is the little wow, that is a crazy graphic. You saw that? Let me show you something real quick. That update was released today for Pixel. The update that was released for Samsung devices was yesterday. I put a community post out on my YouTube channel yesterday, and that was for a lot of Samsung devices: S26, S25, S24, S23, Z Flip and Fold 7, Z Flip 6 and Fold 6. I think it went all the way down to the 4, Flip 4, Fold 4. And then it even did some M series devices. I think that you only see in like India or Bangladesh or places like that, right? It was a very, very long list. This update affected a ton of devices, so I know they wanted to get it out there ASAP. Your battery's still not fixed yet? Interesting. What device do you have? Yeah, it's a staggered release. It's unfortunately not like Apple. You got yours today for Pixel 10. It's unfortunate. Hey, what's going on, man? Appreciate you joining us today. Thank you very much. It is a staggered release. Unfortunately, it's not like Apple, where when they push an update on their phone or on their servers, it literally goes out to everybody all at once. They don't do that. So typically, it'll take at the most I would say I would say 3 to 5 days to reach everybody. Now, on the really, I think I've had to wait for as long as a week, I think one time, but that's rare. I think typically I wait I would say 4 days, 3 to 4 days maybe. So if they released it yesterday for Samsung and today for Pixel, that means you should get it tomorrow or at the latest the next day. But I would say tomorrow you should get it, right? You should get it tomorrow, hopefully. And it also depends on where you're at as well. So let's see here. That's 24 plus. You should get it here. I don't know. In the next. In fact, I'll Google search it for you here in a second. Let's see here. Oh, my bad. Let's see. In your opinion, is it safe to get a Chinese phone now in the US? Yeah. Yeah, certainly. I think so. Doesn't stop me. I mean, what would be dangerous about it? Now, if you're saying you didn't use the word dangerous, you said safe. So what would make it unsafe? Maybe if people are looking at it from a perspective of the government making out the Chinese to be the bad guy, and the bad guy in these phones are from where the bad guys are from. I could, they put out those narratives. I don't let that fool me. Now, maybe I'm the fool, right? But I think they're okay. I think they're okay. I think you should get it and you should enjoy it. That's what I think. I don't see. And again, the only thing that I'm worried about, which could it happen? I guess it's possible, but it's probably, the chances are very slim, is if the FCC, they really want to crack down, right? So what if China gets involved, over there in the Middle East between the US and Iran? What if China gets involved? Just saying, it could happen, right? And then what if the US want, how petty the administration is? What if they want to stick it to these Chinese and say, okay, well, I'm going to tell the FCC to block all Chinese devices that are getting radio frequencies or carrier services in our country. I could see that happening. If you asked me that a year ago, I'd laugh at you. But the way things are going, I could see that happening. But again, will it happen? Probably not. But is it out of the realm of possibilities? No. But I still think the chances are so slim of that happening. I think you should, if you have a OnePlus device, I think you should keep it, use it, enjoy it. Or if you're thinking about getting one, I think you should get it if you can afford it, use it and enjoy it. That's what I'm doing. I'm gonna deal with that. If a obstacle comes in the way between me and my technology, I'm gonna deal with that at that time. And go from there. I'm gonna try not to let this stuff, affect how I use and enjoy my technology, because they have the best phones out right now. That's without a doubt, in my opinion. OnePlus, Oppo, some of the best phones, and that's on top of Samsung, that's on top of Google Pixel, that's on top of iPhone. Just two of their flagships right there, probably, some of the best in the world. So Oppo is obviously maybe a little better for photo and video, but OnePlus just as fun, playing games, multitasking. It's a phenomenal device, so I wouldn't worry about it. But that's just me. Let's see here. Oh, cool! You got yours yesterday? Sweet. So a lot of people are starting to get them. A lot of people are. So very good news. Oh, really? You're in Canada? Nice. How's the weather up there? Is it still a little chilly, or is it warming up? Because it's supposed to pour down rain tomorrow here. We're supposed to get a cold front. I thought our last big cold front was like 2 weeks ago. It got down to the 30s one night here, and I thought that was our last big cold front. But apparently we're getting one tomorrow that's bringing a bunch of rain. So yes, and it could go the other way around, and it probably will, right? China, if that happens, China could say, okay, well, we're going to do the same thing, reciprocate the same thing to you, and meaning people that are in China that are using iPhones, they'll just block all services to IMEIs that identify as an iPhone. Same thing, phone wars, I guess you could call it, but I hope it doesn't get there. But if it does, we'll deal with it. And here's the thing, it's not going to last forever, but I know it might put a dent in realistically, all this stuff should settle down the next 3 years when when there's a new seat up in there. But I hope it doesn't happen. It could, but we'll just have to wait and see. I would not be surprised though. It was warm but a little cool today. Typically great month. Nice. Yeah, our allergies are so bad here. Man, everybody got like allergy headaches here in the house. So everybody went to go lay down and take a nap, and I can't take naps because I won't wake up. So I don't take naps because I sleep so hard it just won't turn out good. All right, let's see here. So let's do this. Did you all see what else? What other news is there? There was something else I was gonna talk about. Hang on one second. Do y'all have any suggestions on me doing the buy this not that? Do you have any phone comparisons that you would like for me to do? I was going through that today to see what phones I could compare. Let me see what else is going on. Intel stock. Did y'all see that? I told y'all. So maybe we could talk about this for a second. TSMC, the manufacturer. Let me take this off. TSMC, the manufacturer, the storied CPU manufacturer that manufactures CPUs for all the latest and greatest CPUs, including Apple. Google switched to them. they have a very good product. They know what they're doing. Companies go to them first for making their CPU. So Apple will design them, and then TSMC will essentially put them together, right? They're very good at what they do. However, chip demand, CPU demand is literally at an all-time high. And news today broke that Intel's stock was skyrocketing again. I got another alert. It's up 12% today. I said, 12%? Oh, what's going on? There must be some news, right? It just doesn't jump 12% out of nowhere. So I jump on Google. I searched Intel and I hit enter, right? Because it'll pop up if there's big news. Sure enough, Apple and Samsung are in talks with Intel to start manufacturing their CPUs. So if you dig into the news, or maybe I can save you an article just by telling you, because there's a million and one articles out there right now in regards to this topic. TSMC is so backed up. I told you all last week when we were kind of going into Intel, TSMC cannot build enough fabs fast enough. Like, they are booked up for the next 3 years at 100% capacity, meaning all their chips for the next 3 years are already sold. They're already spoken for. So, yeah, of course, they would like to pop up a fab here, a fab here, a fab here, and crank out more CPUs for its consumers. But that's just not the case. That's just not reality. These things take time, take years to you can't just pop up a fab here and a fab there. It doesn't work like that. It takes years. So if you're in Apple's shoes, Samsung shoes, and you need more CPUs made, like Apple, they need more CPUs made for the Neo. They're going to need more CPUs made for the Neo version 2. For the second version of the Neo, they're going to need more CPUs for that. TSMC just doesn't have the capacity. So if you're in Apple's shoes, what do? Well, you go to the next best source. Now, off the top of my head, I might think Samsung, but that might have been for their chip making. But that was probably 4 or 5 months ago. I probably would have said Samsung. But let's face it, they still don't have their shit together. Their yield rate is just not high enough to where a company like Apple can feel comfortable placing orders with Samsung, because they know the chips they're on the cusp of making it big, but they're just not there yet. But the emergence of Intel over the last few months has enabled them to put their foot in the door. So their yield rates for their 18A and 14A node, right? Their foundation, how they make their chips, is at freaking like 90%. Like, it's meaning essentially almost every chip they make turns out to be a rock solid chip, because sometimes they got to throw them away. Sometimes there might be a little discretion with one of these wafers. It's not good enough. We got to throw it away. It doesn't, quality control standards. Intel's is very high. And Apple is in talks, in negotiations right now as we speak, to hire Intel as their CPU manufacturer. Now, not full-time. Apple's not going to take all their business away from TSMC and put it into Intel, but the chip demand is so high right now that Intel can make it big, can hit big revenues just by getting the excess work that TSMC cannot fulfill. So in Samsung is in negotiations using Intel as well. So I was like, holy crap. And remember, Tesla, their Tesla fab, or Elon Musk wants to make his own CPU. Now, I guess technically that would be a wrong statement. He's not going to make his own CPU because he's not going to physically make it. He wants to get there in the future, but he's going to be in the position like Apple, Google, where they design it in-house and then ship that design off to Intel for them to make it. So they've already signed a deal with Tesla to provide them with hundreds of millions of chips. And that's what took their stock price off the bottom of the floor. Actually, Panther Lake did. And then once Elon Musk saw how well the 18A and the 14A nodes were doing, and Panther Lake saw the big performance, big efficiency coming out of that, and how successful that has been, then that's what spurred the deal for the Tesla deal in Intel. And now Apple and Samsung are going to Intel. So it's amazing. Yeah, they're not there yet. 70%. It's just like a school, right? It's like you got to hit 70% to pass a class, a test. Similar thing to the chips, to the CPUs, which is incredible. For one thing, Samsung cannot get over that 70% hump. It seems like they've been there for like 2 years. And then Intel comes out of nowhere. Boom, they're at like 90% or 92%, which is outstanding. So keep an eye on Intel stock. I know we don't talk a lot of money business on the show, but look, you can buy. And look, I'm certainly not advising you to go buy Intel stock. I have to put that out there. I personally think it would be a smart idea, but I can't tell you what to do. I passed at $20 a share when they hit rock bottom. I passed on when it was at $44 a share. And then I think I did my show last week when it was 80 or 82. And I was like, I see where this is going. And I did buy some. So looks pretty good. Now, this is, I personally believe that they still have, it still can climb. To at what point, we have no idea. But everything that's coming out of there looks great. So, yeah, we talked about that yesterday. Elon wants, he wants to make his own AI chip. Intel's going to be manufacturing it. They've already signed the deal. It's already signed, sealed, and delivered. Now, Elon Musk ultimately wants to not only design it in-house, like Apple and Samsung, like Apple and Google do, but Apple and Google send that design to TSMC. TSMC builds it. Well, now it's going to be Intel as well. But Elon Musk, I think he said within 12 years, it's a long time, but these things take so long to build and perfect. He wants eventually to not only design his own chip in-house, but also manufacture his own chip in-house. That's where you can really get ahead of the competition. You don't have to have these supply and demand limitations like with TSMC. Oh, TSMC said they can't fit us in for our chip. Well, let's go to Intel then. If you do everything on your own, you can save time, you can save money, and you can get ahead of the competition. But that takes time. So he's going to depend on Intel for the manufacturing for, I don't know, maybe 6, 7, 8, 9 years. But eventually they should get there. So yesterday we talked about the Pixel 11 series. Technically, they're going to have a 5-year-old 5-year-old GPU. Now, last week, I roasted them because I said, well, the news we had last week said it did not support Vulkan version 1.4. And I was like, what are they doing? What? And it came out yesterday. It does support Vulkan 1.4 and obviously OpenCL as well. But what they're doing is, the news was that 5-year-old GPU, if you just took it off that shelf, if it was sitting there for 5 years and put it in a Pixel, that 5-year-old GPU that's been on the shelf for 5 years does not support version 1.4 Vulkan. Now, what Google did is they took that 5-year-old GPU that's sitting on that shelf over there, they brought it over to the workbench, and they are tweaking some things inside of it to get it up to date, to get it up to current standards, like Vulkan support, like ray tracing support, among some other things. So technically it is a 5-year-old GPU, but they modified some stuff inside of it to kind of modernize it. But will that be enough to um, will that be enough to, you know, make it fair competition for the Galaxy series, for the iPhone series, for OnePlus, for Oppo? I don't think so. And obviously, we're just gonna have to wait to get them to see, um, you know, what it's gonna be like, what it's gonna perform like. But I also did mention yesterday, Google has to be very careful, because if you do this too many years, people are gonna start backing out, like myself. Right? I said yesterday, I'm a lifelong Pixel user, buyer, lover, and I think I'm gonna sit this one out. Like, this is 2 years in a row where, and I've held in there. How long have we held in there with them? For years, thinking, oh, this is the year, this is the year, this is the year. And we say it every single year. And I'm just to the point where I'm just kind of done saying that. And especially with that 200 charging cycle limit, I think I'm going to take a break. But if they don't get their shit together, if they don't get the GPU together, if they continually force users to have to abide by that 200 charging cycle limit thing, I may not go back. Now, never is a strong word. I'll probably will, but in 10 years, in 5 years, in 2 years, I have no clue. I just wish they would make some of these things optional, not force us to do these things, because that's what rubs me the wrong way. Plus, why would I spend $1,300 on a Pixel 11 Pro XL when I can spend $1,300? No, screw that. I can spend, what do they want? Well, I can't get a OnePlus anymore. Some of its competitors are, you get a lot of phone for $1,300, a lot of phone, and it just seems like you're not getting as much. So that's my little gripe with them. I'll still be a Pixel user, Pixel lover. I'll still have, I'll be a supporter, but I'm going to take a break and see where this goes, I think, this year. Oh, what downgrades are we talking about? Because I saw them getting upgrades. Now, I'm not sure what downgrades you're talking about. You talking about RAM? Because Pixel is doing that too, you know. That's the other big news that came out of yesterday. Google's bumping down the base model from 12 to 8 gigabytes of RAM. So the Pixel 11, the base model is only getting 8. And the Pro and the Pro XL and the Pro Fold are only getting 12. So I said yesterday, you know, it really wouldn't be that big of a deal if they had RAM expansion, like OnePlus, like Samsung, like Oppo, like Xiaomi, like Motorola, but they don't. They don't have RAM expansion. So I don't know. Correct. But it's still technically it's still a 5-year-old GPU. Yeah. We would, there's a good, check this out. There's a good, do I have it in the description box? I have a Notebook LM link that I carried over my description from yesterday's live stream to this live stream. Don't judge me. But if you go down in the description box of this video, click the link underneath the Notebook LM. I have added like 12 to 14 sources, something like that. Nothing but Pixel 11 news. So it's got all the information you're looking for and some. I made it public so everybody can view it. If it's your first time going to Notebook LM, click the link, go over to the studio section. Don't go to the chat because it's like talking to Chat GPT, but slide over. I mean, you can ask it questions if you want, but go over to the studio section. That's where all of the cool stuff is. I got tons of stuff generated for the Pixel there. I have no clue. Cost, probably. Most everything in business decisions comes down to cost. Whether it's a barber in a barber shop, whether it's Google with Pixels, whether it's me making websites, probably money and or supplier constraints. Integrated GPU and Snapdragon is way too advanced. Even Dimensity. Yep. Yeah, I love my Snapdragon CPUs. I've only had one bad experience, and I don't even put that on Snapdragon. I put that on Samsung. the S25 Ultra. Very, very, I had a horrible experience with that, but it wasn't their fault. It was Samsung's fault. It wasn't Qualcomm's fault. But I love Snapdragon products. I do. They've been very good to me. Might be the A20 Pro. Might have A20 Pro plus 8 gigs of RAM. Interesting. Huh. Yeah, I haven't seen that. Oh man, it is. It sure is. It sure is. I do too. I put out a few, I think over this weekend, I put out, if you go through my community post, there's a good link there with how RAM rules the world, or memory, right? Just a little play on words, but it is kind of true. I do too. I wish they had their power. I wish they had their muscles flexed a little more when it comes to this phone thing. I wish they had a good tablet we could use. I wish they had a good ecosystem. I know some people like the watches. I hate Pixel watches. I hate Pixel earbuds. I don't know. We'll have to see. They need a better ecosystem. Not looking too good right now. They are putting out a new Pixel book with this aluminum OS. Same time Samsung's putting out their new aluminum OS book with One UI 9. Y'all saw that? Samsung's putting out, like, it's not technically a Chromebook. It is a laptop. It is running aluminum OS, Android, but they're putting One UI 9 skin on there, like with their phones. Should be freaking cool. I just want to know what CPU it's going to run. And maybe the ARM chipset, Qualcomm X Elite 2, may not be, right? I saw a rumor today, somebody say, yeah, it's going to be an Exynos CPU in there, in that new laptop. I said, oh God, please no. I definitely won't be buying it then. GPU lacking. I'm pretty sure video quality will suck compared to other flagship. Battery life still would be with subpar compared to competitors. I'm just over it. That's where I'm at. I think I'm going to take a break, honestly. And the biggest thing that rubs me the wrong way is that 200 charging cycle limit thing. I know some people don't care about that. I do. Our Pixel 10, look, our Pixel 10 Pro XL right now takes almost 2 hours to charge. 2 hours. We're at like 258 charging cycles on it. 2 hours, really? It's like 7 months old. Like what are we doing here? Like I'm used to using OnePlus phones, charged in 30 minutes. Even the S26 Ultra charge is pretty quick now. Like, I'm just not gonna do it. I'm just not gonna use a phone that takes 2 hours to charge. Sorry. And I'm not gonna say nobody. I certainly don't use much AI, and I think most people, I know y'all don't use a lot of it, and I know most people probably don't use a lot of it, and I still don't know why we're on this stupid AI thing. All they want to talk about is AI. Like, nobody cares about AI. You try it out once or twice when you get the phone, then you never use it again. You just, sorry. All right, my daughter just woke up and wants dinner and asking me what's up at dinner, so I do appreciate the time. Thank you. I spent about an hour on here with y'all while they were taking a nap. So I'll catch up with y'all tomorrow. I really, really appreciate the time. I'll find something cool to talk about tomorrow. So hope everybody has a wonderful evening. And we will see you tomorrow. Peace out.
Yeah.
I just need my space right now.
Fresh off the G5 jet, I'm on my way to a brand new kit.